Hey everybody, welcome to Thoughts from a Dystopian World, episode 17. And today we're going to be talking about the B-72 Heavy Bomber from the Federated States of America. It's a bomber that I haven't got a lot of use with because it's a fairly new model before the game ended. And I've used it a few times to pretty good effect. It's one of those aircraft that is similar to the the Valley that we just had a video about. Alright, let's just delve into the heavy bomber, the B-72. Alright, the B-72. It comes in 120 points, so it's a fairly large aircraft. It's really big. When you think about the grand scheme of things, when you put this thing on the table, it is a large model. With it, you have a defensive crew, so basically they like to defend themselves, but they're not very aggressive and attacking out, trying to go out and do a jump attack on someone else. So they're good at defense, not very good at attack. Alright, so that's just the nature of the beast. Now, this is a medium capital ship, low-level flying bomber. It has a minimum movement of 4, so it has to move at least 4 inches before it can make a turn. So you just have to keep that in mind whenever you get to put this into the game. So there you go. Now, with the 45-degree turning template that you do have to use with this for the aircraft, you have to move forward 1 inch, and then you can make your turn, and another inch, and then make your turn. But your initial 4 inches has to be paid before you can make your first turn. So there you go. Squadron size is 1. At one time I thought it was 2. Interesting. I have to take a look at that in the future. Then you have 4 rocket batteries, and then you have bomb bays. You know, it has 2 different weapons. Basically, it's the same as like the Valley for those weapon systems, but it doesn't have the broadside. Now, the DR and the CR. The DR is 6, and the CR is 7. All right, not bad. Doesn't take a lot to do a DR in this thing or a CR, but it's better than most of your standard cruisers out there. It's kind of comparable to a battle cruiser in a way also when it comes to the DR and CR for some of the fleets out there. It does have a 10-inch movement, so it can close at least a range band a turn if you want to. And you combine it with someone else's movement, so you have a good possibility on the first turn hitting somebody with the 4 rockets on this thing. So it does have some mobility to get around. Now the hull points is 6, so that's pretty respectable. It can take 3 CRs before it's gone and possibly blowing up, but you know, they're in squadrons of 1. So sort of think of it as a flying battle cruiser in a way, without a lot of the firepower to go with it. The assault points is 6. That's mostly defensive, but if someone happens to get close to you and they have a low crew on board due to, let's say, you hit them with incinerators or something, or some type of weapon systems that killed some crew, yeah, throw them over there, you know, just to see what happens. And then you have the ACAC of 4, so it is kind of susceptible in a way to small air squadrons or rocket attacks, or even being attacked by even assaulted with jetpack infantry. So you got to keep that in mind. Maybe keep it back a little bit before you get hit. The concussion charges is 3. Yeah, I'm still at a quandary of what those are going to do for you. The ram rating is 4, so if you happen to bump into somebody, another aircraft flying in the air by chance, there you go. You do 4 dice. Now, like I said, this comes with bomb bays and 4 rocket batteries. Now, the 4 rocket batteries are fixed channel, so basically you look at the base template of the aircraft, and that anything that's within that arc of fire, basically straight channel, just lay down your tape measure forward, and it's like, okay, you're within underneath that, so I can hit you. And it goes out to range band 3. And once again, you have 9 dice, but you have 2 batteries, so you can combine them together for 14 dice. That's pretty respectable. And with 14 dice, you're going to do some good damage. And this also comes with piercing 4 rocket battery munition type. So if you hit somebody, if you do a DR on them, you automatically do a crit on them. So it'd be like doing a CR on somebody, but you only need a DR. So if you take this aircraft per se, and you hit them with 6 hits, you're going to do a crit. So you still have a chance of hitting somebody's magazine or, shield generator, etc. So after it's all said and done, you can do some good damage. You may even catch them on fire, etc. So that's the nice thing about it. And you do have 2 rocket batteries on board this thing. So you could throw, if somebody's lined up perfectly, you could throw 1 rocket battery at this guy, and then this one, because they say they cross the path of both of them. So it's like, since you're an aircraft, it's like, okay, I can see this cruiser here, I can see the cruiser behind them, so I'm going to hit you and hit you. All right. Or you can combine them together and hit, say, a battleship or some type of other, let's say a carrier or dreadnought, it doesn't matter. Whatever you plan on hammering pretty hard. Okay, so that is your range band 3. If you get into range band 2, you're throwing 12 dice, and if you hit range band 1, you're looking at 11 dice. That's good, pretty good, with piercing munitions, so not bad at all. Now the other thing you have on board here with area bombardment is your bomb bays, is that you have 2 bomb bays with the 2-inch movement, tertiary weapons, 360-degree arc. So anybody that's within 360-degree arc of your travel, you can hit them with 2 bomb bays, which have 9 dice. Let me tell you, this thing, if you fly over top of, say, some frigates or even cruiser squadrons, and you drop some bombs on them, yeah, you're probably going to take some damage in the process. But when you hit them with the bombs, 9 dice is going to do some good damage on somebody. So even if it's an indiscriminate attack too. So you are going to possibly take out entire squadrons, because that's a fairly large template that you're dropping down there, and it's like saturation bombing. So that's a tactic. So if somebody gets close enough, as you move this thing forward, drop the bombs, give it to them, send the love, so to speak. Well, that's pretty much that there. Now, it does have some other assigned, model assigned rules. It has combat patrol, momentum, spotter, and squadron support. All right, so combat patrol, so this can be assigned a combat patrol, or if I understand it right, with my own thinking, it's like this thing can be assigned as a combat patrol. I could always look that up sometime, but it does have a squadron support that comes with it. It comes with 4 fighters. So when you're going to battle, you're going to have 4 fighters as a protective ring around this thing. So if somebody decides to send small air squadrons or some type of other aircraft at you, you can, if they get close enough, your small air squadrons can go out and dive out there and intercept them and help out. So that's one nice thing. As a spotter, if somebody's within 24, you can spot, say, I'm going to spot this target over here for you. And then if, let's say, you got some ships that are capable of doing high angle attacks, so they can basically do indirect fire. The spotter, being as a spotter, they can help out with that and target targets for you. Alright, so that is pretty much it when it comes to model assigned rules. We talked about the optional rules that come with the 4 rockets. It does have 2 rocket batteries on board. It has 2 bomb bays. And the special rules, the dedicated support, the fighter wing deployed with this squadron may be attached as a cap to this squadron desired not being part of the local air squadron allowance. So it comes in addition to that. So, and then they are attached to you, and so they're, wherever you go, they go as a fighter cap. Now, the times I've used this in a game, it's pretty simple. I try to, since it doesn't have any fore or side arc weapons or anything like that, just wherever you, it's point and shoot this thing. And so you got to look at where you're going, and it's fairly mobile when you and turnable once you take care of that 4-inch movement for your minimum move. So you look at it, say, okay, I'm going to aim at this squadron over here and move forward, and then I can make my turn, which, you know, a turn, 45-degree turn is a large area to cover when you're looking at a farther distance, at a distant target. So you turn your airship and say, okay, lay down a temp, so your tape measure, and go, okay, I'm aiming for him, and turn, yeah, there you go, I'm lined up, and then unleash the rockets at him. You don't have to worry about what's at your flanks because you have nothing can shoot that direction. So it's basically kind of like a lawn dart. So you're just like, all right, I'm aiming here, and then point and shoot, point and click, and just try to do as much damage as possible. Now, as I said, for I think it's what, 20 more points for this thing. Yeah, the Valley's 20 more points, or 25 more points. So I have a tendency to prefer to use the Valley over these things, but if you have a lot of points in the game and you're playing a fairly large game, or if you want to play a scenario where you're taking all aircraft, where there's no surface models at all, so everything's in the air, yeah, take these things. They work pretty good. So there you go. So just kind of move it forward. The sweet spot is trying to stay in range band 3. So it's like, as you move forward, kind of, I like to do is set it off onto one flank, and then pick the targets as you get into range band 3 to your direct front. And then as they move closer, you start turning your aircraft to and angle it. So you're always trying to pick targets that are farther out. Stay within that range band 3 for your targets, and as they move forward, then you're going to be running parallel to the, eventually you will be running parallel over top their squadrons, and that's where your bomb bays come in handy. So you pick your targets farther down, but as you turn and they close with you, open the bomb bays and let them have it. So that's kind of like how I like to use these things. Your mileage may vary, but you know, if you have different tactics, but that's pretty much what I found that works pretty good with these things. And then you have your support group going with you. All right, so that is the B-72 in a nutshell. Not a bad ship. It does the job, gets you by, and I hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe and share with all your friends, and we will talk with you all later. Elcrex out.